Oh, it's always backwards. I forgot that. Duh, duh, duh. This one won't be backwards.
There you go. It's fantastic.
Who is that handsome man? It's Jorgen! Hey! Hey! Dude, this should have been happening a long time ago. We've been friends for, I think, birth.
Basically. I think we were close.
But I didn't know you very well. You know when a friendship like that?
Yeah, there's like some kind of cosmic, like the stars align. There's like a weird spirit. Yeah, I get you.
It's like that scene from Hercules where all the planets align. And then the Titans crawl out of the pit, except it was friendship instead.
Right. It's definitely not the Titans. That would have been weird.
That would have been kind of weird. That's funny. Okay, icebreaker question. Here we go. You can co-headline with one band from history. Who do you pick?
So I had thought about this one before.
Yes.
Back in the day. I was curious. I was like, should I pick a band that's historical, like a historically important band?
Yes.
Or some kind of like, I don't know. I ended up with Bon Iver.
Oh, dude, that would be so.
Yeah.
You guys would mix super well.
That's why I was thinking about how, personally, I wish to progress music. I feel like I would have such liberty to open for them or co-headline for them and like basically do whatever I want. Because if people could tolerate, not that it's bad, but tolerate Bon Iver's his change in his music, I can do a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you're saying, like the changeover.
Right.
Years and years.
Plus, it would just be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
When was the first time you heard them? Or like,
Skinny Love, like everybody like heard of Skinny Love before. Oh, like that's a great song.
Good song.
But I think it was when 22 A Million came out that I was like, whoa, like these guys are good. Yeah, it was like before like Bon Iver and Forever Ago, like really good records. But yeah, 22 A Million was just like, this is totally different.
These guys got it
Beyond,
going.
Yeah.
That's really cool, especially. God, that doesn't happen very much with bands.
No.
It declines after.
Right.
I told you this wasn't going to go according to plan at all, but what do you think makes a band do that? Why is it? Is it?
I think it's artistic integrity.
Okay.
Because like, I was talking with some of our family the other day about how like, in another world, if I made a ton of money off of music, just like that's top headline pop star. I would never want to be a pop star, but I'm just saying, like in general, I would want to produce something that is not like that people are going to hate.
Yeah.
But like something that is so beyond the confines of like what I did before.
Okay.
Because you have that stage, because you have that liberty to like make a voice to show that art isn't just about being marketed and being popular and whatnot. It's supposed, you know what I mean? So I think it just comes down to like artistic integrity, how deep it goes. Yeah, how important that is to you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think about where it came. They changed over with the Beatles and then or Elvis before that,
right? And
just being like, oh, we can market this,
right?
And this can make a lot of money instead of just making art. Like there's some bard in 1312 that was cranking out some hits that we've never heard of, that you're like, wow, this is really interesting. I mean, he didn't have as many options, I guess, as we do.
Sure.
But
there's just always that platform to like break from tradition, and that could mean your own tradition.
Yeah.
And try to do something different.
Dude, I love that.
I love it. Yeah. It's great.
Jorgen is a multi-instrumentalist. I had a hard time saying that, but it came out the right way.
It did.
Instrumentalist. How do you process all this stuff that you're doing? Because you and I think Ian's another guy that you just like will grab something. You're like, oh, this is how this works, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I barely know what a C chord is on guitar.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I just think that intuition's a big part of it.
Okay.
And I think it's funny that you mentioned Ian, because Ian and I have different backgrounds. He's very traditionally, he's like an amazing musician.
Yes.
Topanga Breakfast.
Garlic.
Oh my goodness! If you guys weren't at the show, it was just amazing.
It was.
But I think that's a base, a fundamental. If you want to learn more instruments, is like having that intuition when it just comes to like I just want to anticipate a melody.
Okay.
Or, and then again, I have no clue. I really don't know. It's just something that you expose yourself to. I don't know.
Yes, it's weird that goes. I remember even at the Topanga Breakfast Show. Did you play a horn?
Yeah, I was doing trumpet for that
and
song.
I was like, I didn't know this guy could play the trumpet.
Oh man, yeah.
That's crazy. You never cease to amaze me.
Thank you, Dean.
No,
Likewise,
I'm not.
man.
No, stop. I don't know. About
No. Oh.
Let's get back on track.
Okay.
I told you it never goes according to
It
plan.
should.
It doesn't. Okay, so I want to talk about lyrics first off. Once again, if you haven't listened to Summerknit, you got to be listening to Summerknit. We'll have a link below, or if you're watching on Instagram, you can follow him, and then we got all the links there. I'll be posting a lot about it. What is your approach to getting the lyrics? How does that process look?
I wonder that myself. I think it comes a lot from what I'm reading at the time. That has a lot of reading has a profound influence on how I express myself, and I think most people probably could agree.
I completely agree.
Right, you read something, you're like, that speaks to me on a whole nother level, and you not necessarily try to like redo it, I guess. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of my lyrics have allusions into them. So like there's a lot of I try to put a lot of context into them. A reason why said line is in this song, and then there's another line in this song. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
that's really neat.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder that sometimes.
How did I get to this?
Well, yeah, and I've been really trying hard to be like less stream of consciousness, Dadaist, like very like. Yeah, that's what I think of. I mean, it's true. I mean, it's just like.
I've heard it said that way, but that's funny.
Yeah, that sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, how do people do that? But there was a whole movement off of it, so I guess. But I've been really trying hard to like be scrutinizingly intentional with where I put words.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We did a song together called "Heard You Call," Ian.
Yeah.
I don't know why I forgot. That's
okay.
Brain fart. And that one has such a great story to it. And I remember when you sent me over the lyrics, I was like, oh, that's cool. I can see everything.
Yeah.
With that. That was such a fun process.
That was an amazing process.
It was like, we got in the room. You're like, I think we did like a total of 4 takes.
Oh, something like that.
My voice was completely trashed the day before. I was just like, I really hope this comes out well.
And it did.
And it did. You can hear my voice break at one point too. I was just like,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
in this house, in this house. It's like, it's like,
I hate that, man. When you go back and you listen to like something you did, and you're like, I could have done so much.
No, do you listen to you?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, go back.
Like I'll go back and I really, yeah.
That's so funny.
I'm like, I could have done way better.
No.
Yeah.
I've done this thing recently where my music will come on randomly. I'll put it on shuffle or something, or I'll go back through something, and I'll like, I'm going to listen to this song, and it's interesting. After a few months, I'm able to kind of go like just listen to it instead.
Yeah.
But you know this too, when you're about to release it, you listen to that song a jillion
times,
yeah, and you're just like, I'm so sick of this.
Yeah, like at that point, you're like,
and minutely changing that you can minutely change things,
sure.
and it's just, you can drive yourself insane. It's
yeah,
not good.
You definitely have to like.
You should go good.
At some point, just
push.
like let it be. It's not even perfect.
You do a good job with that, and that gives it such a great sound to your music as well. It just feels like it's like this beautiful moment instead of like over processed stuff, which can be bad. It also seems like really like a great quality, which blows my mind because I listen back to my stuff and I'm like, when I'm doing it, especially, I'm like, oh, this sounds a little wrong. How am I going to fix this?
Dude, yeah, I am not trained to mix or master, so it was like, Tame was like an experiment in and of itself. That was, it was something. I'm happy with how it ended up.
Good. I love it.
But
I love how it goes from like this folk thing. We talked about this one
Yeah.
time walking back from a show, and then it goes into like shoegaze, and then it has a little bit of a tease back, but then it's just like those are two things I wouldn't think to mix, but you do it in such a great way.
Thank you.
On that album. What are some songs that you like, maybe that have grown on you over time even more? Let's say that. I don't want to talk about the songs you don't like on there.
Yeah, oh my gosh. How? Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Yeah. Crap.
See, once again, I didn't get.
I know.
I didn't.
No, it's okay because I like really want to think about it because like okay, off of Tame, I think that probably True Love Prance, which is such a funny name. Prance.
I love it. Prance.
What do people think of when there's prancing? You know what I mean? It's just prance. Do you just tell people I'm gonna go prance around?
I'm gonna go prance around. Makes me think of a deer, or prancercising.
Oh.
Which is them like walking down. I don't know. It sounds joyful and triumphant.
Which is the point. Yeah. Yes,
Christmas-ish.
triumphant. I like that. Yeah, Christmas. I guess Christmas. Yeah, True Love Prance. I think is one of those like underrated songs in my opinion because I don't know. I just really like I'll listen back to that song and I'm like I really like that song.
Yeah.
Like it's like concise. It's got a good feel to it. The lyrics I think are some of the more poetic, like if it could be read as a poem with meter,
Yeah.
which was kind of what I was going for. So I was like, I appreciate that because it was a very like cut, neat, and finished product. Which
That makes sense.
A lot of the times it just feels like everything's like.
But it still feels like it fits together.
Sure.
Listening to
for
it.
yeah, if other people listen to it.
What were you reading around that time? Do you remember?
True Love Prance. No clue.
That's a long time.
Maybe Othello. Maybe I was reading Othello, which maybe
which
that's
makes
why it's like
sense.
iambic.
There we go.
That maybe that's why.
I bet that's what happened. Yeah,
So I
it's
have-
funny how that works.
It is. Thank you, Shakespeare.
Thank you, Shakespeare. Bill. Billiam
Billiam.
Shakespeare. With your music, do you feel like you are pulling from your life a decent amount, or is it like, I guess it depends on the song. So what do you think the change of that, the percentage rate between that?
Yeah, I try to put personal language in there. I think I was talking to Pablo the other day about it, and he's like, there's a lot of yous and I's. I'm like, yeah, it's like, I guess a part of it is like a personal conversation, but then another part of it is also like a universal you and I. Like whatever, I don't particularly like it when it's like, it's whatever anybody wants. Like I used to believe that, but I was like, I feel like it's helpful if a song has more of like a direct meaning.
That makes
you know what I mean?
sense, yeah.
But then there's also like a sense of like a universal you that could be like an idea or an institution or a movement. You know what I mean? Like attributing the personal pronoun to a bunch of different ideas that you may have.
Yeah.
But even then, if I write a song that's like more of like an observation, I do try to input some degree of like personal truth to it.
Okay.
Because I think that's what makes it.
That makes it the Summer song.
Right, yeah.
Lyrically, at the very least,
Sure.
You're putting a spin. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like the way that goes. Let's see, what I have, the next question is, what are some influences you have that in your music that would surprise somebody?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, I have one because
Okay.
I feel like most of the time I could like, I'll send Garrett something or I'll tell you a band.
Yeah.
And most of the time people are like, oh yeah, I could see you listening to that. Like I feel like, not that I don't stray too far from what I like, it's just I feel like my taste is very broad.
Yes.
So, D'Angelo.
Okay, would not have expected
Yeah,
that.
like Questlove. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, I freaking love D'Angelo.
Yeah.
Common, The
Common.
Roots, like
Oh, so good.
Erykah Badu? How do you say her name?
I'm not actually sure.
Yeah, I don't know. They're all great. Soulquarians.
Yes.
Come on.
So good.
So good.
So good.
Like art hip hop. That's what I
Yes,
thought of it
art
as, like
hip-hop,
art
yeah.
hip hop. And I was like,
It's
whoa!
a cool like subgenre. in
It
that.
is the underground rap scene. Man.
Yes. So good. That's where like really a lot of true and beautiful art form is in there before it has to be over processed and stuff. Although there's a lot of really great stuff out there as well. It's interesting to see like some bands or artists go and try to get into that, but it still has that sheen of the process on the top of it.
Yeah, it's like an intentional part of the song.
Yes.
It's not because it's going to sell more. It's because it's a part of it.
Yeah. I loved coming into Sozo. I think you left right when I came in.
Yeah, we didn't work much together.
I think I might have had a shift with you.
Maybe one or two.
But then seeing the music you guys would play there was so cool. I found a lot of music through
amazing.
Andrew Garrett.
Yeah,
especially. So Scott has shown me some cool stuff too.
He definitely actually. There were a few bands. I think he told me about Big Thief. Yeah. Ironically. And it was like I look back and I was like, I really I haven't listened to much of their new stuff. Just because I haven't, like I said, like the folk genre, I kind of haven't really dove into it again. But like when I was really into it, Big Thief. Thanks, really Scott.
Good. Yeah, thanks, Scott. Bree has shown me some really great bands too.
Nice.
Just a pop in my head too.
Yeah.
She's amazing too.
We saw her the other day.
No way.
Yeah, at the Antique Mall.
I miss her.
Just walking in and she's there. Hey, whoa!
What the heck?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, let's talk about. We got one more question, and we'll go into the game. What is your recording process like when you set it up? And I know it's probably changed a little bit right now.
Yeah.
What is like an ideal? Let's say that. What's your process, and then maybe we can sub-question get into the ideal.
Yeah. So like we were talking about before with when it all came upon me, I recorded this with Andrew in his 8-track. That was really fun because it was the first time I'd ever been like introduced into tape. Like before, I was like, I don't know. Like honestly, when I first heard it, I was like, this sounds dumb. Just straight up, I was like, this sounds like it's way too much work.
What are we doing?
Like why? Like what's like we have? There's Logic, there's Pro Tools, like way easier. But then he kind of started explaining to me like, I don't want to say like the innocent nature, but like just like the purity of it. It was so cool. So when we recorded that, it was really interesting. All the piano tracks we actually recorded at Esther's brother's house because they have like an old piano that was in tune. Mine wasn't in tune, so I couldn't record it on mine, and I didn't want to pay for it. So we recorded it there, and then the rest he did all the bass tracks on it.
That's incredible.
So good.
Guy,
so good.
We did a song "All I Need" together, and he did the drums over the top of it, and I was like, oh, I didn't know he played drums, and which is not a good sign. Starting off, you're like, oh, maybe not, maybe. And I was like, I know some pretty good drummers, and then he put it down. And I remember the first time he showed it back to me, I was like, oh man, this is like not exactly in time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, let's try time. And then to his credit, the next time he sent it to me, it was like, oh wow, this is really good.
Really good.
I'm not, like, even the final product, it's not like terribly bad, but it's like human, if that makes any sense, which I like.
Yeah.
And then I remember the second thing he did was with the tambourine, and the tambourine was not in time, and I was just like, bro, I don't know if we can really use this thing. He goes, oh, I think you do. And they came in the next time I saw him. He had a welt on his hand that was huge.
Because he was trying it so
Because he was doing hard. And to his credit, he got it down. I was like, that,
man.
To me, shows like an amount of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And a lot since his passing, too, you kind of like idolize some people for that. But that's like, not because of that, but it really just showed like he was like a true, like,
he was a true artist,
Because we could have just like time shifted some stuff around, just like repeated stuff. He's like, no, I'm going to do it the entire song.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. Like I said, there's a more human element to that stuff.
For sure.
I guess that's just something I really respect.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I see elements of you in that too. It's just like, we're going to get it. We're just going to get down. You know what I mean? And I'll let it be what it is at the same time. And then you get this really beautiful sound from that instead of just like overly processing. There's a place for that too. I'm not ragging on that, but
no. I mean, it's just, I think they're different processes that have different results that aren't necessarily better than the other. I think it just depends on your perspective of what your end result's going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's totally right. with Tame, what was your process with Tame?
Yeah, so that one was, I just, other than Heard You Calling, had you singing on it, and then I had Pablo and Lee do bass and drums on Half a Million. The rest of it was just by myself, so I had to just, like I did guitar, and then I did, how did I do it? I basically recorded everything through the Focusrite. I had this like little PreSonus 8-track. So just like when I had the free time, I just would sit down and spend a couple hours recording.
That's incredible. That album is so good.
Thank you.
Seriously, I've said that like 8 times, but that's because it is that amazing. You guys got to check it out.
I love it.
I've had it. I played often. Yeah, it's so great. You're working on new stuff. I kind of want to allude to that later on.
Sure. Yeah. Sort of. Okay. I think I'm gonna. I'm trying to take a hiatus from like creating music, and I'm trying to write more. So like less music, write more. It's really hard.
Yes.
Because they both go hand in hand to me a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So, new stuff. I don't know. I'm expecting it to be out for maybe a couple years. Like I really want to. Talks album. I think I was telling you guys about it. Laughing Stock.
Yeah.
Everyone should listen to it.
Check it out.
It's like all of the tracks are like 8-9 minutes long, and like, what's his name? Something Holland. I don't know who the lead singer's name is, but they went like completely off rail from like their label. Like they were like months late from the release date. They basically told them like, we're never going to play these live. Like, these songs weren't meant to be played live.
Oh, no way. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, like, when you listen to this album, there's this, like, raw, natural, like, it's like its own microcosm. It's amazing. So, I would recommend that. It's like a dense listen. Like, you have to really sit and listen to it. But, like, taking, like, captivating space, not being afraid to take just a little bit longer, a little bit longer.
Yeah, instead of just, gotta be this time, what if they stop listening?
Right.
Just give it, see what happens at that point in that extra time.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I'm really trying to lean into more of that and orchestrating and trying to do stuff like that. So we'll see.
Dude, that's so cool. I can't wait to hear what you come up with. I love the stuff that you put out. You know what would be fun? I was just thinking about this. You have such great taste in music. It'd be cool to have, with these, to do like a Spotify playlist from the person that we interviewed. Yeah. So I'll have to hit you up.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to attach it to the video.
For sure.
And this is just like, this is your picks of like, these are the artists that you should listen to.
Yeah.
You've introduced me like Duster.
Yeah.
Space Dust.
Space Dust. Check out Space Dust. Tempe AZ.
Those guys are great.
Out there, man.
Yeah, I love that story behind that.
Oh,
some
my
inside jokes. Okay, let's play the game.
Yeah.
So here's the game. If we had the budget for the effects, we put in there. Okay, this one's called Levels of Betrayal. It's an A-B situation. So I'm going to give you 2 instances, and you tell me what you feel is a worse betrayal between these 2 things. So the tier 1, not that they go in any specific order. Okay, leaving a text message read but not responding, or not returning a phone call. What do you think is the worst level of betrayal?
I think not returning a phone call.
It does feel a little bit more.
Yeah, because I feel like if there's like an urgency calling people.
Yes, that makes sense.
I almost did that.
You must have think we're together. You should still. Okay,
I think
that would be bad. Okay.
I think it's still there. Yeah, I think there's like an urgency to phone calls. Like text messages, most of the time it's like, I could get a response later.
Yes.
But if you call somebody, there's like, nowadays it's just, there's like, I don't know. Like if somebody called me and I didn't return it, like I really didn't want to talk to you.
Yeah, you're like, no.
Not happening.
Okay, tier 2. First off, that makes sense to me. I like that. Tier 2, cutting someone off in traffic or an undercover cop. Getting pulled over by an undercover cop.
That one's funny. Because I like, you get pulled over by an undercover cop.
Oh, betrayal! That's a betrayal.
You tricked me.
I was supposed to know.
I feel like that would be more of like a betrayal.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah, because like cutting people off is like, you don't really know. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a assumption already made, so there wouldn't be as many. There wouldn't be like something to be betrayed on. But like if it's an undercover cop,
you're like,
you're thinking it's a normal
what the heck?
car. Yeah.
What's the weirdest undercover cop you've seen? Like they're driving a.
Oh, I've seen undercover F-150s.
Oh, that's
like
weird.
trucks. Yeah, like it was like, what? That's a
Dang.
thing? Yeah, there's always a Dodge. There's the Charger that's always on the 60.
Yeah, I
blue
know
one.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
Wait, so
sneaky.
what about you?
I saw a van. That's
A
not
van?
a joke. Yeah, it was a Grand Caravan. It was a newer
What?
one, but it was white. I was like, what the heck? That's not. I almost thought it was like a joke.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, the cop
No?
came out of the car. Not for me. I saw.
Oh, you saw him.
It was near where I live over. Was it Santan Village?
Okay.
And I was just like, what
That's
the heck?
weird.
This is so weird.
A van.
A white Grand Caravan. Okay, next level. Hearing that your parents like your other sibling more, or misjudging a fart. I think you know what I mean by that.
I think misjudging a fart.
That feels like a bigger level of betrayal.
Because you
too.
like trusted yourself.
Then you're like, what the? Wow!
You're like, seriously?
Are you
And it's at the
kidding?
worst time
It's
too.
always at the worst time.
Like you're at a nice dinner and you got your suit on and you're like, oh man, this food, and boom, yeah.
Boom. No!
I gotta go
That
back.
happened to me one time at Disneyland, or Disney World.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was not good. I think I was 12.
Oh, see, I had that happen. I was like 11,
Mm-hmm.
and we were. This is such an embarrassing story, but it's good. It's worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah, like I was going down I was sledding down a hill, and somehow, some way, yeah, like it was bad, and I was like, oh my gosh, and so I was like, oh guys, I got snow in my pants, and everybody's all like, sure, you got snow in your pants. Like, I'm like, how did they know?
How did they know?
Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing.
No, I'm sorry that happened, man.
Yeah, and it was like a church camp, and I was like I had my friend, and that was it. So like I didn't know anybody else.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
that
pretty.
makes it so much
Oh,
worse.
man.
You're like everybody thinks about you as that kid now.
Yeah. I think I redeemed myself.
I'm
Maybe.
sure you did, man. I'm sure
Maybe they remember that.
I doubt they do. All right,
Funny.
tier 4. This one's the most intense.
Yeah,
One time of cheating on your spouse of a year versus one time of cheating on your spouse of 50 years. So it's a time thing. What makes that worse? Is it time?
yeah,
It's
I was
bad
gonna say,
overall.
It's both of them are
Make that
terrible.
commitment.
That is a really hard question.
It's a really
I
hard
can't
question.
think of like
I don't know.
which
You
one
gotta
is
think about-
worse.
You probably have kids.
Yeah,
I didn't
50,
put that in question.
Right. And then, but also like 1 year, you're like fresh out of marriage.
Fresh
and
out of
you're just
marriage. So
like-
see, that would be like, it should be super intense. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
after 50 years, it could be like, we had a bad year maybe. And then something like that could happen.
But
I'm
then
not
also-
justifying that, obviously.
Right, but then like I know couples that have been together for like 40 plus years, and if they
you're like-
cheated, it would
you're
be
like,
like
what the heck? That
it
doesn't
would
make
be it would be like the end of the world.
Yeah.
For everyone.
I don't know. We can just pass. I don't
Yeah,
even
let's
know.
pass.
Let's pass.
Neither.
I
Don't
like
do it.
Don't do it. Don't cheat. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what that would say.
That is a betrayal.
That is.
That's like one of the biggest betrayals. You
Yeah.
said Brutus though, in your
Brutus.
your text. That one was pretty good.
It too, Brutus. It too. Okay, last one. Here we go. For all the marbles. A box of Lucky Charms with 0 marshmallows,
Oh,
or a packet of ramen without any seasoning in it. You're like, what the heck? There's no seasoning.
yeah, ramen.
That feels weird.
That's weird. Because like,
There's more
sure,
with Lucky Charms,
Right.
but it feels like a bigger betrayal because maybe it's because they're less, and because you really like. You're just like, well, now I got all this cereal.
Yeah.
That's a weird. But if it's a packet of ramen without any
when you-
seasoning,
that's like 50% of
that's
it.
50% of it.
I mean, I
That's,
don't know.
I don't know, man. That's
Yeah,
hard.
the ramen,
I think
dude.
I think it's gotta be the ramen.
Yeah,
All right,
because like, yeah.
that's the hot seat right there. Okay, levels of betrayal. Whew.
Oh,
My biscuits are buttered.
my butt.
All right, here we go. Back to the questions. All right, one thing. I have this memory of you at Sozo one time. I was working at Sozo, and you came back and you were reading a book, and we started talking about. I don't remember what the book was, But we started talking about books, and I learned that you love reading too. We share that in common.
Yeah.
I love reading.
Yeah, I love it too.
What are some of your favorite books that you've read?
So I have 5.
Oh, I love this.
5.
You know I love lists. Let's go.
So number 1, I would say the most influential for my artistic life is Letters to a Young Poet by Rainer Maria Rilke. I think I said the name right.
Okay.
Austrian poet. Amazing. Like, it's probably one of the most that I've read, the most honest convictions of a poet, an artist, we can say in general. Yeah, it's great. If you're interested in really diving deep into what it means for you to create and to be a creator, it's a great book. Pale Fire.
Okay.
By Vladimir Nabokov.
Okay.
I think. Great book. Totally changed my perspective on how to write and what literature is.
Yeah.
Just in general.
You're like, what?
It's a great book.
Check this one out. Pale Fire.
The Man Who Was Thursday by G.K. Chesterton.
Okay.
He was a really proficient Catholic thinker of his time, but the book is it's a philosophical novel that's it's one of those
pretty heady.
Whoa,
yeah.
Pincher Martin.
Okay.
By William Golding. I've never read Lord of the Flies, ironically.
Yeah.
So this is his 3rd novel, Pincher Martin, and it's another one of those existential. It kind of reminds me of Purgatory.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of what he was alluding to, but it's kind of it's a good book.
Okay.
And then Ulysses by James Joyce.
That's yes.
Totally.
I read that on what day is it? What day is it called? I read the entire book.
Bloomsday?
Bloomsday.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, this is Bloomsday. I'm gonna do that.
Crazy son of a gun.
It is long, and it was at the end of the day, my brain was
it's fried.
mush.
Yeah.
That was such a great book, though.
I was reading about how he interpreted, why he was writing, why he wrote literature, how his approach to it, and it was from Samuel Beckett, who's a really good Irish playwright. Two opposite spectrums of writing, but James Joyce was maximalism, as much information as you can get, so that you can basically control more and contort and twist and do. I mean, there's really not a plot line to the book.
No, it's just a guy taking a walk.
Literally.
Thinking.
That's it.
And not even really about anything. There's kind of a story.
Sure, there is. I mean, but even then, it's not. You hear the plot line and you'd be like, that's not almost 700 pages worth of writing.
It definitely should not. Yeah, but it does. It feels. It reads. It's kind of you have to put your brain in a certain mode, and then you just kind of read it. And I try not to when I read I'm not writing a book report on it, so I'm not trying to absorb every line. I actually will read a summary before it.
Okay.
Trying to go I don't really care about spoilers. That
Sure.
don't really bother me.
No.
And then I go this is kind of what I should look for.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, I'll watch another analysis.
Yeah.
And go and then I'll compare what I thought about the book to that book.
No, that's really constructive.
So it kind of feels like a moment, or it's not just a done. How many books did you read this year?
Yeah.
18. Tell me about them. I don't
remember.
So I can't tell you about every book.
Sure. I mean, it's so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's awesome. I like how he also had created his own world, Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man.
Have you read that?
I have read that one.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy to hear you read that.
I like that one.
Did you read it before Ulysses?
I read it after.
Oh, okay.
So, I wish I would have read it before.
Yeah.
And there's some characters that fit in both
Yeah.
of them.
Stephen,
he's Stephen, that's the guy's name. I couldn't remember.
And there's the one priest who dies, and he's an important, or he's not important, but he's referenced in Ulysses.
Yeah. It's great.
Dude, I love that you've read that book. That was the first James Joyce book. I read some of The Dead, but when I read that one, I was like, this guy's a genius. The whole portion on aesthetics and stuff, I was like, whoa, it's awesome. Yeah.
I need to go back through and review some stuff.
Yeah, I totally would read it again.
That's great, man. I love that. It would. I would never. I don't know if I'll do the Bloomsday thing again. That was.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is the thing. I'll try it out.
Yeah.
But I would read Portrait again.
Yeah.
I would do that easy.
I think it might have been easier because it's like a coming of age story. So like
That's another thing.
the frame is a little bit different. It's
Yeah.
not dissected into 3 or 4 different. Well, no, there's like 6 different frames in Ulysses.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like,
intense. It's long.
but it hails itself.
It does, and I can see why it's a considered masterpiece, and I think it should be
Right.
hailed as a masterpiece.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if you should read it in high school
Yeah,
or be forced to read it, but if you
Yeah.
like reading, you should read that because
Yeah.
it's like a masterclass on
If you care
subconscious
about-
and just literature in general.
Right. If you care about modernist writing,
Yes.
and I would even say current, whatever, meta-modern writing, it's people are way more affected by it than they think.
Yes, I just finished Mrs. Dalloway by Woolf, and that was
Oh.
another one that reminded me of. I was like, oh, I mean, they're the same kind of era, but
Sure.
You're like once again, same kind of theme
Stream
of
of
just like stream of
consciousness.
consciousness,
Yeah.
walking, and just like considering all this stuff that's going on. Some things. This is something that I've recently worked on over the last years. Like some stories are just it's just a story. So stop trying to be like, what is this about? It's just a story.
It's just a story.
And you can kind of take it. Once again, it doesn't have to be about anything. It's just a
No.
ultimately a form of entertainment, one that's very enriching, though.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just an observation of humanity that, like, you can appreciate.
Yeah.
I just read To the Lighthouse by Woolf. So
That's on my
need
list. I have it on my
Oh,
shelf.
dude. Well, I need to read Mrs. Dalloway, and I need to read The Wave.
I will give you Mrs. Dalloway.
Okay, I'll give you To the Lighthouse.
Okay, done.
That works.
Yeah, let's do book exchange.
Wolf is another great modernist writer that
She is amazing.
up there.
That was the first one that I've read by her. I've heard other people read. There's another one that's like a play. I can't remember what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's not To the Lighthouse, though. And my partner at the time had read it, and she
Yeah.
was telling me about it. I was just like, this is insane.
Right.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's really good. She was like, it was hard to read, though.
Yeah,
She was
it's-
super sharp, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of her writing, I think, is like very like heady, philosophical and stuff. But like, yeah, I was reading reviews of To the Lighthouse, and some people are like, terrible philosophical rambling. I'm like, what do you expect from the book? Like, what do you expect from a writer like Woolf? Like, she's gonna have very important, deep things to say about humanity. That's, yeah. But again, like some people just want like a story.
Yeah.
That's not how we were talking about a story, but just like something to like, this happens and this, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I love it, man. Okay. If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change? It could be a light answer. It could be something
Yeah.
heavy as well. What would you think you would change if you could change something?
I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah, I really don't know.
That's a good
There's so
answer.
many.
It's fine.
No COVID.
No COVID. There we go.
That's a good one. Yeah, just COVID didn't exist.
Agrees with that one.
That's a good one.
One thing I love about Jorgen, and I've talked about this with other guys and the people that we all hang out with, and people agree. And when you're around and when you're not around too, it's just like you have such a great, first off, singing voice as well, but also just like a voice in general, and you bring so much to the world around you, and it's uniquely you, and it's seemingly effortless with whatever it is. So I think you're just one of the most true people that I've met.
Thank
So
you.
that is
means
like
a lot.
one of the highest compliments I can give. I love the energy that you have around. So, and I think everybody that I talked to that knows you as well says that same thing about you. I wish more
it's
people were like how you are.
Well,
I think the world of you.
Thank you, Dean.
You're
Wow,
welcome,
this
man.
guy.
That's something. I always feel this sappy, but
No,
I meant it to be
I
very
mean
true.
it.
I
No.
think. Yes.
If I would add on to that, I would just say, as to end a note, to end in grandiose.
The grandiose.
I appreciate my circle, my people. You know,
Yes.
I've got a wonderful wife. I've got a wonderful family. I've got wonderful friends, and I think that is imperative to becoming a more artistic person. And it's not just for art's sake. Art's sake shouldn't be just for creating. You know, some people think it's imitating nature, imitating the soul. I really do think it's a way to connect spiritually and when you surround yourself with people that are encouraging and helping that vision in your life, you can't replace that. I think that's priceless. It's priceless.
Totally, man.
So
I can't say better than that.
I mean,
dude, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
I love you so much.
Love you too, buddy.
Yeah, get out of town.
Get out of town.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks.